Attending a K-pop concert can be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but it's essential to practice good manners to ensure that everyone, including yourself, has a good time. While these may not be strict rules on what to do, some things are quite different from concerts of Western artists, and it's best to know them before you book your tickets. Let's start from the beginning. What to not do before the concert even starts. That entirely depends on what tickets and seats you have, and also what you want to do before the concert. If you have a seat in the stands, you can be an hour to 30 minutes earlier and still manage to get in without any problems. If you plan to buy merchandise or chat with other fans though, arriving earlier can help. This is especially true if you have general admission or standing tickets. The first people in line usually get spots right at the barrier in front of the stage, while others are left trying to see over them. To secure these prime spots, some fans show up 5 to 12 hours early to wait and claim their place. So look at your tickets and then decide what to do or not do. When choosing what to wear, avoid spikes or chains, as some venues prohibit them, though this can vary by city and venue. Generally, it's best to also steer clear of clothes with gang symbols, offensive language, or anything that might pose a safety risk, as it's very likely the security will not let you in if they notice it. Large hats can obstruct the view of others, so it's definitely rude to wear them to a concert. Inappropriate clothing might get you removed from the venue or even fined for indecent exposure, so even though we understand wanting to look good, make sure that this won't get you kicked off the concert. Another big thing that's related to concert etiquette is the issue of light sticks. Light sticks are a popular way for fans to support their favorite K-pop groups. Since every group has its own unique light stick design, fans often wonder if it's acceptable to bring a light stick from one K-pop group to the concert of another when you don't have the one for the group that's performing. After all, this is just a way to show support, and the artist probably wouldn't mind. However, the other concert attendees seem to mind most of the time because there are other ways to show their support. They can bring glow sticks in the artist's colors, use their phones, make a sign, or even just wave their hands around to support the artist without spending more money. To some people, the only acceptable occasion to bring another group's light stick into the venue is if the artist doesn't have a light stick of their own. As a Reddit user noted, that would be like wearing the jersey of a totally different team to another team's game. Why bother? It adds nothing and sticks out in a not good way. There are also certain cases in which venues don't let you enter with other light sticks, so if you're planning to bring a different light stick, make sure to read up on the venue rules. However, even if you get a few dirty looks from other concert attendees, what's important is that you have fun with or without a light stick. What about how to interact with the artist on stage and the people around you at the venue? Well, just as you would like to enjoy your experience as a concert goer, you should remember that other people want to do the same. So even though it's normal for people to use platform shoes so they can see better, be careful to not obstruct the view of those behind you. The same goes for holding up phones and signs, or even wearing headbands. Also, avoid standing up if everyone else is seated, or you might end up frustrating the person behind you who's trying to record because, understandably, they won't appreciate having their video ruined. These things are technically not forbidden, but it's important to remember that these people have paid quite a lot to see their favorite artists, so it's not polite to ruin the experience for them. It's not against the rules and most people won't mind, but a helpful tip for K-pop concerts is to avoid recording the entire show. It's expected that when people attend shows of their favorite artists, they want to commemorate the moment by recording them so they can go back and relive the memories later. But wouldn't it be better if you actually lived that moment in real time? After all, there are tens of hundreds of people probably recording the concert with much better gear and who are going to provide footage of better quality if you want to go back and watch it. It makes sense to want to capture your favorite song or a special moment with the artist, but it's better to enjoy the concert without stressing over getting the perfect shot or whether you can be heard in the recording. Artists often prefer seeing fans enjoying the moment rather than being met with a sea of phones and flashlights when they look out at the crowd. Blackpink's Jennie warmly scolded fans during one of the Born Pink shows as she told them, "People who've been to our concert know that we like to see the fans' faces and not their phones. We like to make eye contact and sing our songs together. Rather than stressing over capturing every moment perfectly on your phone, just concentrate on enjoying the concert to the fullest so you don't miss out on the emotions. Plus, you probably won't revisit those photos or videos much after they're taken. There are venues that don't even allow this in the first place, and some have even banned professional recording equipment. However, if you happen to attend a concert somewhere where you can record, make sure that your face isn't glued to the phone. If you want to record, be considerate of others. Holding your phone up high might give you a better angle, but it can block the view of people behind you, so keep your hand low while filming to avoid causing any issues. If you're not careful, you also might end up ruining the experience for the artist, which is probably the last thing you want. One thing that concert goers are advised not to do is scream when the artists are trying to talk. These moments, known as ments, happen a few times during the concert, and they're when the group connects with the audience. Yelling while they're trying to talk makes it tough for everyone to enjoy the interaction. Feel free to respond when they engage with you, you, but keep the noise down while they're speaking. People also tend to scream the name of one member when another one is talking, so if someone else is speaking and you're not a fan of that member, try not to spoil the moment by asking for someone else. Keeping your voice down helps the translator too. They need to hear the artist clearly so they can relay what's being said to those who don't understand the language, and they can't quite do that if all they hear are the piercing screams of fans. Most importantly, do not throw things at the artists on stage. Unfortunately, this is not something that only happens to K-pop idols, as Western artists have been dealing with the same problem. Singer BB Rexa was hit with a phone in the middle of her performance by someone in the audience who thought it would be funny. His joke led to BB's face being bruised and injuries that required stitches, and to the fan in question being arrested. Harry Styles was struck in the eye by something thrown by a fan, and Kelsey Ballerini was hit in the face with a bracelet. There have been other incidents too. Ava Max was slapped so hard that the inside of her eye got scratched, and Pink had a fan throw their deceased mother's ashes on stage, making her very uncomfortable. From these examples, you can see why it's extremely disrespectful and sometimes even harmful to throw things at idols on stage. To you, throwing a plushie or a flower might not be anything except for a cute moment, but just imagine how these artists are feeling as they have about tens of objects flying their way without any way to escape them. One plushie might not hurt, but 20 of them definitely will. There's more than one occasion where idols have had phones thrown at their faces, as well as bottles, both plastic and glass, and even LED boards. There's no doubt that this was a serious attempt to harm the people on stage. BTS's Jin, for example, had been recovering from surgery during the permission to dance on stage, and his arm was in a cast. Fans continued to throw things at him, sometimes even hitting his arm instead of trying to avoid causing more harm. This wasn't the first time Jin was struck on stage. There's an older clip of him getting hit on the head by something unknown, and it's clear he wasn't amused. Kang Daniel also experienced a similar situation where he was hit by an object, and you can see in the footage that he grabs his wrist in pain afterward. Sometimes fans throw things on stage that can make idols feel uncomfortable, like contraceptives and undergarments, like what happened to Monsta X's Minhyuk. A fan had tossed their undies on stage, and Minhyuk had reached out to catch them until he realized what was being thrown at him, so he backed away in disgust and discomfort. A more extreme version of this is what NMIXX's Kyunjin dealt with during their tour Nice to Mix You. At some point during the show, someone just let their baby crawl on the stage, but Kyunjin thankfully noticed before the baby went any further and put them back in the mother's arms. We can't even start explaining how dangerous this is for everyone involved, especially the baby. Concerns included the risk of the baby falling or getting hurt, and the lack of ear protection, which raised worries about potential hearing damage. The situation got worse when it was discovered that this wasn't even the first concert that this baby had been at, leading to a lot of criticism towards the mother. We understand wanting to get the attention of your favorite idol, but there's no need to put your child's safety at risk to do so. Not to mention what could have happened if Kyunjin hadn't noticed the baby in the first place, or if there had been special effects on stage like fireworks. Idols are there to perform for you, not to be treated like objects or babysit your children. Be mindful of your behavior and make sure you don't cause any harm.